Wealth is not chance. It is alignment with divine law. To believe otherwise is to live under an illusion that life is random, that blessings are scattered by accident, that fortune smiles on some and frowns on others without reason. But when you awaken to the truth, you realize there is no such thing as accident in a universe governed by precise spiritual principles. Every coin, every opportunity, every open door that appears in your life comes not by luck, but by alignment with the great invisible law that governs supply. The human mind has been conditioned to see wealth as a matter of chance. People point to the lottery winner and say, "He is lucky." They see the millionaire and whisper, "She was at the right place at the right time." They look at success as though it is something unpredictable, as though it falls upon a person by whim. But the awakened soul knows that what the world calls chance is really cause and effect. It is thought crystallizing into form. It is vibration drawing its own to itself. It is divine law unfolding with precision. Every law of nature points to order, not chaos. If you plant a seed of corn, you do not harvest apples. If you plant roses, you do not expect thorns alone. What you sow, you reap. The soil responds to the seed without favoritism. The same is true of wealth. When you plant thoughts of abundance, gratitude, and expectation in the soil of faith, you cannot help but reap financial increase. When you speak words of poverty, fear, and lack, you plant weeds in your own garden. Life does not choose for you, you choose through your thought, your word, and your inner alignment. Many people long for wealth yet unknowingly block it. They desire large sums of money but speak constantly of how little they have. They affirm abundance one moment and deny it the next. They water the seed of prosperity with one hand while uprooting it with the other. The law is exact: you cannot sow poverty in thought and reap riches in reality. The harvest always matches the seed. Wealth, then, is not a matter of who you know, what family you were born into, or how lucky you appear to be. Wealth is the direct outcome of alignment between your desire, your belief, your words, and your actions. Divine law responds not to wishing but to certainty, not to begging but to knowing. To align yourself with wealth is to step into the same order that keeps the stars fixed in the heavens and the tides moving on time. It is to recognize that abundance is not an exception but the very nature of life itself. Consider the millionaire who wins the lottery. The outer world cries, "What incredible luck!" Yet unseen is the inner alignment that made it possible. That individual, whether consciously or unconsciously, vibrated with expectancy. Something in their belief opened a channel through which supply could flow. The lottery was only the method, the law was the cause. If the lottery had not been the channel, another path would have opened, an inheritance, a business, an investment. For wealth is never tied to one source, it flows through infinite channels, guided by divine order, to reach the one who is aligned. This is why you must release the notion that wealth can only come to you through a single means. If you say to yourself, "I can only prosper if I win the lottery," you block the countless other avenues through which abundance can arrive. Divine law is unlimited, it is the human mind that limits. The one who is aligned opens their arms wide and says, "I welcome wealth from every direction, through expected and unexpected channels, in perfect timing." Such a one never worries about the how, they rest in the knowing that supply must come because the law cannot fail. To align with wealth, you must discipline your inner world. First, discipline your thought. Your mind is the factory where your future is built. If you permit it to wander in fear, lack, and comparison, you manufacture experiences of poverty. But if you hold fast to images of prosperity, if you rehearse in your imagination the feeling of wealth, if you see yourself already in possession of the good you desire, you send a blueprint to the universe that must be constructed in form. The invisible becomes visible. The thought becomes matter. The idea becomes your reality. Second, discipline your words. Words are not idle, they are seeds of power. Every statement you make is a decree to the universe. When you say, "I can't afford this," you cut off the channel of provision. When you declare, "Money is hard to come by," you instruct the law to confirm it. But when you speak, "I am abundantly supplied, money flows to me easily and consistently," you set in motion a chain of events that delivers exactly that. Millionaires do not waste words on fear, they use words as tools to shape their destiny. Third, discipline your emotions. Fear, doubt, and worry are the greatest thieves of wealth. They choke the seed of faith before it can sprout. To align with divine law, you must cultivate joy even before the harvest, gratitude even before the gift arrives, peace even before the door opens. The universe responds to your vibration, not to your complaints. When you radiate joy, gratitude, and confidence, you become magnetic to every form of prosperity. And fourth, discipline your expectation. Expectation is the bridge between the unseen and the seen. It is not enough to think positively or to speak affirmations, you must expect results. Expectation is faith in action. It is the unwavering stance that says, "Because I have aligned with divine law, the outcome cannot fail me." Wealth must appear. The one who expects receives, the one who doubts delays their good. Now some may ask, if wealth is alignment, why do I see people who are selfish, greedy, or careless still prospering? The answer is that divine law does not judge character, it responds to vibration. A person who confidently expects wealth, even with wrong motives, will still draw it to themselves because the law is exact. But without gratitude and wisdom, such wealth often destroys them. Their abundance is temporary because it lacks spiritual foundation. True wealth, the kind that blesses, multiplies, and endures, flows to those who align not only with prosperity but with generosity, service, and gratitude. Wealth is not hoarded, it is circulated. Money is energy, and energy must flow. The aligned soul understands that giving is as important as receiving. To withhold in fear is to dam the river of supply. To give in faith is to keep the current moving, ensuring that more always returns. The millionaire formula, then, is not selfish, it is cooperative with universal law. It says, I receive in abundance so that I may give in abundance, and as I give, I open the way to receive even more. Do not let the world deceive you into believing that wealth is reserved for the few, or that chance determines who prospers and who suffers. Such beliefs belong to those asleep in ignorance. The awakened one knows that wealth is a state of consciousness first and a state of finances second. Align your consciousness with abundance, and your outer world must conform. Align with lack, and even riches will slip through your hands. Every day you are writing your financial destiny through your alignment. Each thought is a brushstroke on the canvas of your future. Each word is a seed dropped into the soil of time. Each expectation is a silent order placed with the universe. And the law is faithful. It never forgets, it never miscalculates, it never withholds. It delivers what you ordered, in full measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. So, if you desire to step into wealth, stop looking for chance. Stop envying the so-called lucky ones. Stop waiting for a stroke of fortune. Instead, begin aligning with the divine law that governs prosperity. See yourself as wealthy. Speak as one already supplied. Feel gratitude for money even before it arrives. Expect abundance with certainty. Release the how, and allow the channels to open. There is no limit to the ways wealth can reach you. It may come through a job, a business, an investment, a gift, or yes, even a lottery ticket. But remember this, the channel is not the source. The divine law is the source, and it is infinite. As soon as you align with it, the flow begins. And once the flow begins, it cannot be stopped except by your own resistance. Wealth is not chance, it is alignment, and alignment is a choice you make daily. Choose to align with fear, and you choose poverty. Choose to align with faith, gratitude, and expectancy, and you choose abundance. The universe does not withhold, it only mirrors. What you are within, you will hold without. Therefore, take your stand today. Declare boldly that you are no longer a creature of chance, but a master of alignment. Affirm that wealth is your birthright, your natural state, your divine inheritance. Live as though it were already yours, and it shall be. For the law cannot lie, the law cannot fail, and the law cannot be broken. You may ignore it, but you cannot escape it. Align with it, and wealth becomes inevitable. Remember always, wealth is not chance, it is alignment with divine law. Walk in that alignment, and you will find that abundance in all its forms rushes to meet you. The mind is a magnet, attracting whatever it holds with conviction. This is not poetry, this is not philosophy alone, it is spiritual law. The invisible currents of thought are real, living forces. They go forth, they travel beyond what the eye can see, and they return with their own kind. If the mind dwells on fear, fear comes back multiplied. If the mind holds fast to wealth, abundance cannot help but draw near. You are a magnet, and every conviction you carry in the quiet of your heart is silently shaping the life you walk through today. Look around you. Everything that surrounds you, your home, your relationships, your finances, was once an invisible thought. It began as an idea, and the moment you gave it energy, it began seeking a way to clothe itself in reality. The mind does not rest, it is always attracting, always drawing, always creating. Many people do not understand this, so they allow their minds to run wild, full of doubt, fear, and contradiction. They plant seeds of poverty and then cry out when their harvest is lack. But those who know the law guard their thoughts like precious jewels. They know that conviction is the secret fire, and whatever is held firmly in that fire must be drawn into form. A magnet does not question whether it will attract iron. It does not hesitate, it does not wonder if perhaps this time the law will fail. It simply attracts. The human mind works the same way. Once it is set in a definite conviction, it cannot help but pull into its orbit the things that match it. This is why you must decide, with unwavering faith, what you choose to hold. You cannot attract wealth while at the same time clutching fear of poverty. You cannot draw health while rehearsing weakness and illness in your thoughts. The law is perfect and impartial. It returns to you exactly what you believe in most deeply. The mind is not only a magnet, it is a powerful transmitter. Your thoughts radiate into the invisible, and they find their companions in the unseen. Thoughts of wealth find wealth. Thoughts of joy find joy. Thoughts of failure find failure. These vibrations gather and build until they manifest in the outer world. This is why it is said, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. The conviction you hold in secret will one day be shouted from the rooftops of your life. There are those who say, but I have tried to think positively, and nothing happened. And yet they forget the key. The magnet responds not to fleeting wishes but to deep conviction. A passing thought is like a breeze across the surface of a lake. It stirs for a moment then fades. But conviction is like the steady current beneath the water, powerful, unyielding, shaping everything above it. What you casually hope for will not move mountains, but what you deeply know, what you declare as already true, has no choice but to appear. Think of the millionaire who wins the lottery. To the world, it looks like luck. But to the unseen law, it is simply the outworking of conviction. That person may have long held the belief that wealth would come in sudden and unexpected ways. That conviction magnetized the channel through which the abundance appeared. One might say, but millions played and only one won. The answer is simple. The magnet of conviction drew the opportunity to one, and to the rest their doubt or half-belief returned empty tickets. The universe plays no favorites, it only mirrors conviction. If you want to attract wealth, your conviction must be absolute. You cannot say, I am prosperous, in the morning and complain, I am broke, by evening. You cannot affirm abundance one moment and grumble about bills the next. Such contradictions scatter the magnetic force of your mind. You must become single-minded, unwavering, as sure as the sun that rises. When your conviction is steady, wealth must come, it cannot be otherwise. The law is as exact as gravity. Drop a stone, it falls. Hold wealth and conviction, it arrives. The same law applies in every area of life. If you long for love, you must hold in your heart the conviction that love surrounds you, that it is already yours, that you are worthy of it now. If you seek health, you must see yourself already whole, already vibrant, already strong. Conviction must be so strong that no outer appearance can shake it. Appearances may contradict, but the magnet does not listen to appearances, it listens only to conviction. You may wonder, how can one build such conviction? The answer lies in repetition, imagination, and gratitude. Repetition means speaking the word of truth again and again until it sinks into the depths of the subconscious. Imagination means painting a vivid picture of the desired state until the mind believes it is real. Gratitude means acting as though you have already received, thanking the unseen for what is already yours in spirit. Together, these three build conviction so strong that nothing can resist it. There was once a woman who lived in constant fear of poverty. Though she worked tirelessly, though she prayed and begged for help, her fear outweighed her prayers. Her magnet was set to lack, and so lack was what she drew. One day she decided to change. She began to declare every morning, I live in abundance. Supply flows to me freely. I am always provided for. At first, her words felt hollow, but she continued. She pictured herself wealthy. She gave thanks for the smallest coins as though they were treasures. She refused to speak of lack. Slowly her conviction grew. Within months, opportunities opened, gifts appeared, debts were paid, and she found herself living in greater comfort than she had ever known. The magnet of her mind had shifted. Do not despise small beginnings. Every shift of conviction begins with a choice. Choose today to hold thoughts of wealth, joy, and supply. Guard your tongue, for your words reveal your conviction. Guard your imagination, for your visions shape your destiny. Guard your emotions, for they are the fire that fuels conviction. Do not allow yourself to dwell in fear, for fear is faith in the wrong direction. Instead, cultivate faith in abundance, and watch as the magnet of your mind reshapes your world. When you hold conviction, you are no longer begging life to treat you well. You are commanding by law that it must. You are no longer hoping for scraps, you are drawing the banquet table itself. Conviction makes you a creator, not a victim. It lifts you from the shifting sands of circumstance and places you on the solid rock of truth. You no longer chase wealth, wealth begins to chase you. You no longer fear lack, lack flees before the magnet of abundance you carry. Some will say, this is too simple. Surely wealth requires luck or connections or chance. But look closely, many who had no connections became great. Many who had no visible means of support rose to wealth. What did they have? Conviction. The world may call it determination, persistence, or vision, but in truth, it is the magnetic power of a mind set on a single outcome. Once conviction is established, outer circumstances bend to it. People, opportunities, ideas, and resources are drawn as if by invisible cords. This is the great secret. The outer world is not the cause, it is the effect. The inner conviction is the cause, and once the cause is steady, the effect must follow. If you want to change the world you see, change the conviction you hold. Do not wrestle with appearances, do not fight with conditions, simply reset the magnet of your mind. Declare what you choose, believe it as already yours, and let the law fulfill itself. Every great achievement in history began as conviction. Every fortune, every invention, every movement was first held in the invisible realm of thought. What you dare to hold with unshakable faith, you will one day hold in your hand. So do not fear to dream, do not fear to declare, do not fear to believe in the impossible. The impossible is only the untreed magnet of conviction. And so I say again, the mind is a magnet, attracting whatever it holds with conviction. Hold poverty and poverty will cling to you. Hold wealth, and wealth will seek you out. Hold fear and fear will shadow your steps. Hold faith and faith will open every door. You are the magnet, and life is the metal that cannot resist your pull. Decide today what you will hold and watch as the universe rearranges itself to deliver it to you. For as surely as the sun rises, as surely as gravity pulls, the law of conviction cannot fail. Believe with all your heart, speak with all your strength, expect with all your soul, and what you hold will come. The mind is a magnet, and it is always working. Make it work for you, and abundance will be your constant companion. Millionaires win through thought, word, and expectation in harmony. This is not a secret known only to a select few. It is a universal law, always at work, always ready to respond to the one who understands and applies it. The outer riches that people admire are nothing more than reflections of the inner riches that were cultivated long before. The millionaire's fortune does not begin with money, it begins with thought, purified and strengthened, aligned with spoken word, and held firmly in the vibration of expectation. The law of life is simple. Whatever you think, speak, and expect with unwavering conviction must manifest in your world. Yet most people are scattered. They think of abundance in the morning, they speak of lack at noon, and they expect disappointment by night. Such divided energy cannot yield wealth, for the law only magnifies what is held with unity. Millionaires succeed because they understand that harmony between thought, word, and expectation is the key that unlocks unlimited supply. Thought is the seed, it is the blueprint drawn in the unseen, shaping what is yet to be. When a millionaire entertains thoughts of expansion, progress, and increase, he is sketching out the design for his reality. He does not dwell on fear of loss, for he knows that thought is creative and will reproduce itself in form. To win in life is first to win in thought. Your inner dialogue, the pictures you hold, the imagination you feed, these are the architects of your fortune. Word is the builder. Spoken word is thought clothed in vibration, sound given substance. Millionaires speak differently from those who struggle. They declare success even before it arrives. They affirm opportunities in the face of obstacles. They guard their tongues as carefully as a king guards his treasury. For they know that careless words scatter energy, but conscious words channel power. When you say, I am wealthy, I am supplied, I am in perfect alignment with abundance, you are setting builders to work, constructing the very mansion of your prosperity. Words are more than sound, they are commands issued to the universe, instructions given to the unseen law. Expectation is the magnet. You may think high thoughts and speak fine words, but if you secretly expect failure, the law will deliver what you truly anticipate. Expectation is faith in action. It is the assurance that what you have conceived in thought and spoken in word is already yours, waiting only to be revealed. Millionaires expect success. They walk as if doors are already open, as if checks are already signed, as if the victory is already sealed. Their expectation is a continual prayer, a vibration that cannot be denied. Harmony of these three is the winning formula. Imagine thought as the plan, word as the builder, and expectation as the energy that fuels construction. If anyone is missing, the structure collapses. If thought is noble but words contradict it, confusion results. If words are bold but expectation doubts, results are delayed. But when thought, word, and expectation agree, manifestation is inevitable, swift, and often astonishing. This harmony is not about force, it is about alignment. You do not strain to make the sun rise, it rises by divine order. In the same way, when your inner life is aligned, wealth rises effortlessly in your outer life. The millionaire does not chase money, money chases the millionaire because his entire being, mind, speech, and belief, has become a magnet for abundance. Consider how often people sabotage themselves. They may think of winning wealth, yet speak of debts and limitations. They may speak affirmations, yet expect disappointment. Such contradictions cancel out the power of manifestation. The universe does not respond to confusion, it responds to clarity. Millionaires win because they live in clarity. Their thoughts, their words, their expectations all point in the same direction, drawing supply with irresistible force. To practice this formula, begin by examining your thoughts. Ask yourself what pictures dominate my mind. Do I replay scenes of failure, or do I see myself thriving? Replace every fearful image with a vision of success. See yourself holding the check, living in abundance, blessing others with your wealth. Do this consistently until it becomes natural. Next, align your words. Catch yourself when you speak of lack. Every time you say, I can't afford this, you are sowing seeds of limitation. Instead, declare that supply flows to you. Say, money comes to me easily and consistently. Opportunities are always before me. I am in the perfect flow of wealth. Speak as if the invisible has already become visible, for in truth it has. The manifestation is simply unfolding. Finally, hold your expectation steady. Expect good news. Expect doors to open. Expect money to arrive in surprising and delightful ways. The law of expectation is like gravity. It does not fail. What you prepare for inwardly, you must meet outwardly. A person expecting failure cannot receive abundance, even if abundance knocks. But one who expects wealth will find it appearing through channels unseen, sometimes as sudden windfalls, sometimes as inspired ideas, sometimes even as what the world calls luck. But it is never luck. It is law. Millionaires understand that wealth is not just numbers in a bank account. It is a vibration, a consciousness, a state of inner certainty. They carry themselves with confidence, not because of what they have, but because of what they know, that the law of thought, word, and expectation never fails. To become wealthy, you must become a millionaire in consciousness long before you hold millions in your hand. Think abundance, speak abundance, expect abundance, and abundance must appear. The channel through which it arrives is not your concern. The universe has infinite pathways: business ventures, investments, inheritances, gifts, even the lottery. Do not limit the method, simply align with the law. The law will choose the fastest, most perfect channel to deliver your good. Guard your harmony as a treasure. When fear whispers, answer with faith. When doubt knocks, respond with declaration. When delay tempts you to give up, strengthen your expectation. The outer world may take time to adjust, but the inner harmony guarantees the outcome. Millionaires are patient because they know the seed must sprout. They do not dig up the soil every day to see if it grows. They water it with thought, word, and expectation, confident that the harvest is certain. And so, the path is clear. If you would win wealth, whether through sudden increase or steady flow, bring your thought, word, and expectation into harmony. See yourself as already supplied. Speak only words of abundance and expect nothing less than riches. The law will not fail you, for the law cannot fail. Millionaires win not by chance but by alignment. You too can win when you live in the same harmony. So let your mind be lifted. Let your speech be purified. Let your expectation be unshakable. For when thought, word, and expectation march together in unity, the entire universe bends to your command. Money, opportunities, blessings, all will come, drawn by the irresistible magnet of your harmony. And then you will discover that the formula was never about the lottery or the millions. It was about the law within you, a law that never withholds, never delays, but always delivers to the one who dares to believe. Miracles are simply natural laws sped up. What many people see as extraordinary, impossible, or supernatural is, in truth, the quickened activity of laws that are always in operation. A miracle is not a suspension of order but the acceleration of order. When you grasp this, you no longer wait for chance, nor do you beg the heavens in desperation. Instead, you begin to align yourself with the higher rhythm that governs creation and allows the invisible to move swiftly into the visible. Think of the seed planted in fertile soil. It already contains within it the blueprint of the oak tree. By the law of growth, the seed will sprout, push through the soil, and rise toward the sun. If you water it, nurture it, and wait, in time, you will see the oak. But in those rare moments when conditions align, rich soil, perfect sunlight, balanced moisture, and strong life force, the seed seems to grow faster than expected, sprouting overnight. This is not unnatural, it is law moving with speed. That is what a miracle is. When the conditions of faith, word, and expectation align perfectly, what might take years can happen in days. What might take months can unfold in moments. People call it sudden wealth, sudden healing, sudden love, or sudden opportunity. But nothing is truly sudden. The groundwork has been laid long before. The thought was planted, the words spoken, the vision held in the quiet chambers of the heart. When the unseen roots are ready, the visible branches must appear. To the untrained eye, it looks like magic. To the awakened soul, it is divine order fulfilling itself without delay. Many pray for miracles while contradicting themselves with fear and doubt. They ask for supply but speak constantly of lack. They ask for health but rehearse stories of sickness. They long for love but affirm loneliness with every word. This is like planting a seed and then digging it up every morning to check if it is growing. The soil of faith cannot produce under such treatment, but the one who plants, waters, and trusts knows that growth is inevitable. Miracles do not come to the anxious but to the steadfast. The law responds to certainty, not hesitation. When you decide that your desire is already accomplished, you have entered the realm of miracle speed. The moment you stop wavering, the unseen forces begin to rush to fulfill your decree. The law is always waiting for your word. You do not have to persuade it. You only have to declare with authority and live as if it were already done. Faith is the fertilizer that speeds the harvest. Gratitude is the sunlight that strengthens it. Expectation is the rain that nourishes it. When all three work together, the miracle cannot be delayed. Consider those who win great fortunes seemingly overnight. The world calls it luck, but in truth, it is law. Long before they held the ticket, they were aligning with wealth in their thoughts, their feelings, and their readiness to receive. Even if unconsciously, they removed resistance and opened themselves to sudden increase. That is why the wealth rushed to them. Nothing is withheld from the one who is open. Nothing is denied to the one who claims boldly and waits patiently. Miracles are not the privilege of a chosen few. They are available to all who understand the formula. The universe does not withhold, it simply reflects. If you desire money, health, or opportunity, know that the supply already exists in the unseen. Your role is not to create but to align, not to struggle but to allow. The stream is flowing, and when you remove the boulders of doubt and fear, the current of abundance rushes through without hindrance. Some say miracles happen only once in a while, but that is not true. Miracles happen every moment. The rising of the sun, the beating of the heart, the breath that fills your lungs, all are miracles of natural law. What makes some miracles seem extraordinary is only their speed and scale. The same law that grows a seed into a tree can turn an idea into a fortune. The same law that restores a small cut on your skin can restore the body from grave illness. The difference lies in your belief, your word, and your unwavering faith. If you wish to live in the realm of miracles, discipline your thought and speech. Speak only of what you want, never of what you fear. Hold pictures of plenty, not of lack. Let your inner conversation be one of gratitude and expectation. Say to yourself, everything I need now flows to me quickly and perfectly. I am divinely supplied, divinely guided, divinely protected. My wealth, my health, my opportunities come to me in miraculous ways. When these words are spoken with conviction, they set natural law into motion at accelerated speed. Do not ask how it will come. The how is not your concern. The law finds its own channels. It may come through an opportunity you never expected, a person you never met, a gift you never anticipated, or even something as simple as a ticket that changes your entire life. Miracles do not follow your logic, they follow divine logic. Your role is only to remain open, to release your desire into the law, and to prepare yourself to receive. The one who believes in miracles lives differently. They are not shaken by appearances. They do not panic in delay. They do not complain when the path looks uncertain. Instead, they know that behind the scenes, divine order is arranging all things for their good. They walk with calm assurance because they understand what belongs to them cannot pass them by. Their wealth, health, and opportunities are secure, and when the time is right, they will appear with miraculous speed. This formula is not new. It has been whispered through the ages by sages, prophets, and teachers. It is the eternal rhythm of creation, thought, word, belief, manifestation. But most people use it unconsciously, creating by default. They speak of trouble and manifest more trouble. They rehearse lack and manifest more lack. The miracle worker, however, uses the law consciously, turning every thought into a seed of abundance and every word into a decree of power. You are a co-creator with the divine. When you say, "Let there be," the universe answers, and so it is. The power of your word is not small. It is the very channel through which miracles flow. Every affirmation spoken in faith speeds the law into motion. Every doubt spoken in fear slows it down. You hold the key to acceleration or delay. Choose wisely. Imagine a life where money arrives easily, opportunities open at every turn, and health radiates from within. Imagine miracles unfolding daily, small and large, until your entire existence becomes a testimony of divine order. This is not imagination alone. It is the reality of those who apply the formula with persistence. They do not give up at the first sign of delay. They continue to water their vision with words of truth. And soon enough, the miracle is theirs. Remember, a miracle is not an escape from law but a demonstration of it. The laws of the universe are constant and unfailing. They do not bend for one person and break for another. They respond equally to all who call upon them with faith. What makes the difference is speed. Doubt slows down the process while certainty quickens it. That is why miracles seem to defy time. They are time collapsed by unwavering faith. Do not say, "It will come one day." Say, "It is mine now." Do not say, "I hope it happens." Say, "It is already happening." The law responds to present tense faith. When you claim it is done, you shift it into motion. You call it from the invisible into the visible. And then, what might have taken years comes in moments. That is miracle speed. Stand today in the consciousness of abundance. Refuse to entertain thoughts of lack. Refuse to rehearse stories of failure. Lift your words, lift your thoughts, lift your expectation. Declare with authority, "My supply is unlimited. My wealth is flowing. My miracle is here now." Speak it until you feel it. Feel it until you know it. Know it until it appears before your very eyes. When you live in this way, every day becomes miraculous. You will look around and see signs everywhere: unexpected money, divine appointments, sudden opportunities, perfect timing, doors opening without effort. Others will marvel and call you lucky, but you will know it is not luck, it is law. You are living by the miracle formula, aligning thought, word, and expectation with divine supply, and allowing the law to accelerate on your behalf. Hold fast to this truth: miracles are not rare, and they are not random. They are the natural outcome of faith applied with precision. They are natural laws sped up. When you understand this, you no longer wait for chance or cry for pity. You stand as a master of your destiny, calling forth your good with unwavering certainty. Your wealth is waiting, your healing is waiting, your opportunities are waiting, they are already yours by divine right. All that is required is alignment, faith, and the spoken word. Let go of doubt, refuse fear, speak boldly, live expectantly, and then prepare yourself, because miracles will rush into your life in ways you cannot even imagine. This is the truth: what belongs to you cannot be lost, and what you decree with faith cannot be delayed. The law is perfect, and it is waiting for your command. Step into your authority, speak your desire, and watch as miracles, simply natural laws sped up, become the story of your life. Every thought planted in faith grows into visible form. This is the foundation upon which all manifestation rests. Just as the smallest seed, placed deep into the soil, carries within it the entire blueprint of the tree it will one day become, so too does every thought you hold in the fertile ground of your mind carry within it the shape of your future. You do not question whether the seed will grow when you water it. You do not demand that the sprout appear immediately. Instead, you trust the process of nature. In the same way, when you plant your thought with faith, you must trust the process of spirit. What is held in faith cannot wither. It must grow, it must take form, it must reveal itself in your outer world. The challenge for most is not in planting the thought, but in maintaining faith long enough to see it bear fruit. Too often people sow the seeds of abundance in the morning and uproot them with fear by the evening. They affirm prosperity with their lips and then contradict it with their doubts. Yet the law is precise: every thought nurtured with faith will grow. Faith is the water, the sunlight, the nourishment. Without faith, a thought is only a dry seed, left buried in barren ground. With faith, it is unstoppable. The invisible realm of spirit is far more real than the visible world you see with your eyes. Everything you now touch, use, or enjoy once began as a thought. The home you live in was once an idea in the mind of a builder. The chair you sit upon was once only a concept in the imagination of a craftsman. Even the wealth you desire already exists in the unseen, waiting for you to align with it. Thoughts clothed in faith are the bridges between the invisible and the visible. They are the vehicles that carry the unseen into the seen. Consider the gardener who plants a seed of wheat. He does not expect an oak tree to grow. He knows exactly what will come forth, because the seed already carries its destiny within. So it is with your thoughts. If you plant fear, you cannot reap peace. If you plant doubt, you cannot harvest wealth. If you plant worry, you cannot gather joy. But if you plant abundance, health, and victory, and you water these thoughts with faith, you cannot help but see them appear in your life. Every harvest is the exact reflection of the seed sown. Faith is not mere wishing. It is not fragile or weak. Faith is the certainty that what you seek is already yours, and that the universe is now arranging the circumstances to reveal it. Faith does not beg, it does not plead, it does not question. Faith declares, receives, and thanks. The wealthy soul is not the one who simply desires abundance, but the one who plants the thought of abundance and waters it daily with unwavering belief. When you think of wealth with doubt, it is like watering your seed with poison. The soil of the mind cannot produce when it is constantly disturbed. But when you think of wealth with calm conviction, when you speak words of supply and see yourself already in possession of what you desire, you are giving your seed the right conditions to grow. Every word you speak is a form of watering, either with life or with destruction. This is why words of lack and fear are so dangerous. They contradict the growth of your thought and keep your harvest delayed. Millionaires and those who win in life are not simply lucky. They are gardeners of their minds. They are careful about what seeds they plant and even more careful about how they nourish them. They guard their words, they protect their thoughts, they choose to dwell only on that which they desire. And because they are consistent, their harvest is abundant. You may look at your life today and see evidence of lack, hardship, or delay, but do not be deceived by appearances. What you see now is only the result of old seeds planted in the past. If you want a new harvest, you must begin planting new thoughts today. Do not curse the soil for producing what you planted yesterday. Instead, bless it and begin again. Say within yourself, I plant the thought of wealth, I plant the thought of health, I plant the thought of victory, and by faith, I know they are growing even now. Imagine for a moment a vast field. One corner of the field has been left neglected, filled with weeds, thorns, and decay. Another corner has been carefully cultivated, watered, and nurtured. Which corner will bear fruit? Which corner will bring forth nourishment? The answer is obvious. Your mind is this field. Where you give attention, you give life. Where you neglect, weeds will take root. Faith is not passive, it is active, it is deliberate, it is intentional. You must choose daily which thoughts you will plant and which you will refuse to entertain. Do not say, I will believe when I see. For that is not faith, that is sight. Faith is believing before the evidence appears, and by believing, causing the evidence to appear. The one who waits to see before believing is like a farmer who demands to see the harvest before planting the seed. Such a farmer will wait forever and reap nothing. But the farmer who plants in faith, trusting the unseen laws of growth, will surely see the stalk, the blossom, and the fruit. Every thought planted in faith carries a vibration. This vibration moves into the unseen, drawing unto itself people, opportunities, resources, and circumstances to bring it into form. Just as a magnet attracts iron, your faith-filled thoughts attract their own fulfillment. This is why those who live in constant expectation of good find themselves surrounded by it. They have magnetized abundance by their inner state. Your role is not to determine how the thought will grow. You are not responsible for the mechanics of the universe. Your role is to plant, to water, and to trust. Too many block their harvest by worrying about the method of supply. They demand it come through a lottery ticket, a job, or a specific channel. But the universe is limitless. What you desire can come through 1,000 doors you cannot yet see. Release the how, and rest in the assurance that it is already on its way. The truth is that your thought, once planted in faith, has no choice but to appear. It may take time, for every seed has its own appointed season. The oak tree does not sprout overnight. The rose does not bloom the instant it is planted. But with patience the harvest comes. Impatience is the great destroyer of faith. It is like digging up the seed each day to check if it is growing. Leave the seed alone, water it with trust, and know that in due time, it will break through the soil. Your wealth, your health, your joy, they are already growing beneath the surface of your life. Do not be deceived by the seeming delay. What you cannot yet see is still moving, still unfolding, still preparing to appear. Hold to your faith, and soon the invisible will become visible, the unseen will become seen, and the promise will become possession. Every thought planted in faith grows into visible form. This is the law, and the law cannot fail. If you truly believe this, you will no longer waste energy in fear, no longer speak words of lack, no longer doubt the process. You will rejoice in advance, give thanks before the evidence arrives, and live as though you already hold the harvest in your hands. That state of inner certainty is the very force that brings your desire swiftly into being. Therefore, let your thoughts be deliberate. Let your words be powerful. Let your expectations be unwavering. Choose today to be a gardener of faith, planting only that which you desire to see. Refuse to give energy to weeds of doubt or fear. Nurture your vision daily, and watch as the universe responds in ways beyond your imagining. You were never meant to live in lack. You were never meant to struggle endlessly. You were created to live in abundance, to reflect the limitless supply of the universe. And every thought you plant in faith is your key to opening that door. Wealth, joy, health, success, they are not distant dreams, they are seeds waiting for your faith. Plant them, trust them, and let them grow. For the harvest is certain, and the visible form is already on its way to you. Wealth requires discipline of words, no contradictions, no fear talk. For words are not empty sounds nor careless vibrations thrown into the air. Words are seeds, living forces, containers of power. Every spoken word carries with it the energy of creation or destruction. When one understands that the tongue is not a mere instrument of speech, but a key to open the gates of abundance or to lock them shut, then one becomes cautious, deliberate, and wise in its use. Wealth, prosperity, and success are never random. They are always preceded by words that were spoken long before the riches appeared in the outer world. A careless person may say, "I am always broke," or "I never get what I want," without realizing they are decreeing poverty into their own lives. They water these words daily with repetition, and soon the harvest appears in the form of unpaid bills, lack, and disappointment. The universe listens to every declaration and answers accordingly. If words are spoken in fear, the universe echoes back circumstances of fear. If words are spoken in faith, the universe echoes back miracles of provision. This is why wealth requires discipline of words. It is not enough to think abundance in the mind while speaking lack on the lips. The two cannot coexist. The contradiction cancels the harvest. One cannot say, "I am prosperous," in the morning and then say, "I can't afford this," in the afternoon. Such double-mindedness is like planting seeds of wheat in the soil, then digging them up every night to see if they are growing. The harvest is delayed or destroyed altogether. The disciplined soul, however, speaks only words of wealth, regardless of appearances. When bills arrive, the disciplined one does not say, "I don't know how I'll ever pay this." Instead, they declare, "Divine supply is already covering every need. The money flows to me freely and in perfect time." This is not wishful thinking. It is alignment with universal law. Every millionaire who has ever manifested extraordinary wealth, whether through business success, sudden opportunities, or even the lottery, has practiced this law of disciplined words. They may not have been conscious of it at first, but they refused to let contradictory speech rule their lives. They did not allow phrases of failure to escape their lips. Instead, they spoke as if the treasure was already in their possession. Their words became commands, and the universe had no choice but to obey. Think of words as soldiers. Each one is sent forth to accomplish a mission. Some are sent out to bring back abundance, while others are sent out to bring back lack. If your words are confused, your army is scattered, and nothing returns with power. But when your words are disciplined, unified, and consistent, they march forward as one force and bring back the victory of prosperity. There is a reason ancient texts declare that life and death are in the power of the tongue. Wealth and poverty are also in its power. You may pray for abundance, meditate on success, and visualize riches, but if your speech contradicts your vision, your words will pull down what your prayers have built. Discipline is the bridge that ensures your words and your desires walk in the same direction. The most dangerous speech of all is fear talk. Fear disguises itself as honesty or realism. It says, "I must face the facts," and in doing so, it plants the very facts one dreads into tomorrow's soil. Fear talk repeats constantly, "What if I lose? What if I fail? What if I never succeed?" And the universe, which cannot distinguish between what you want and what you fear, begins arranging circumstances to match the vibration of those fearful declarations. In this way, fear talk becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. The disciplined soul rejects fear talk. Instead of saying, "What if I fail?" they declare, "I always succeed because I am divinely guided." Instead of saying, "What if the money does not come?" they affirm, "The money is already on its way, and I receive it joyfully." This does not mean ignoring temporary appearances. It means refusing to give them power through speech. Appearances are fleeting, but words are eternal. What you speak today builds the conditions of tomorrow. Discipline of words is not a one-time act. It is a lifelong practice. Just as a garden must be weeded daily, so must the mouth be guarded daily. Thoughts may come uninvited, but words must never be spoken carelessly. If a negative thought arises, let it die within the mind, never given breath through the lips. The moment it is spoken, it begins to create form. Silence can often be safer than contradiction. Better to remain silent in the presence of doubt than to utter words that plant seeds of lack. Wealth requires not only speaking affirmations of abundance, but also eliminating every phrase of insufficiency from one's vocabulary. Words like, "I can't afford," "That's too expensive," or "I never have enough," are banished from the disciplined tongue. In their place come declarations like, "Everything I need is provided," "Money flows to me in perfect ways," and "I always prosper in all that I do." These statements are not mere affirmations. They are commands issued to universal supply. They are the disciplined words of a soul that knows its inheritance. Some may laugh and say, "How can words change reality?" But reality is built from words. Every invention began with a word spoken aloud. Every business began with a word of intention. Every contract, every law, every agreement, words upon words creating the structure of society. Why then should we doubt that words create wealth in personal life? To deny the power of words is to deny the very foundation of human creation. Consider those who constantly complain about money. Their lives are filled with struggle and lack because their speech creates their conditions. Consider those who speak confidently of success, who declare boldly that they are blessed and prosperous. Their lives are filled with opportunity and increase because their words create their reality. Wealth is not a matter of chance but of disciplined speech aligned with faith. Imagine holding a powerful key in your hand that could open every vault, every treasure chest, every hidden storehouse of wealth. That key is your word. But if you use it carelessly, you lock the vault instead of opening it. If you use it fearfully, you throw the key away. But if you use it with discipline, faith, and consistency, every vault of wealth opens before you. Some wait for opportunities, some wait for luck, but the disciplined one creates opportunities with their speech. They do not wait for the lottery. They declare that wealth already belongs to them and allow the universe to choose the channel. Some may indeed receive wealth through a lottery ticket, others through a sudden inheritance, others through a business idea, and still others through gifts or promotions. But the source does not matter. What matters is that the disciplined speech creates the channel. To walk in wealth is to walk in mastery of words. To stumble in poverty is to stumble in careless speech. The difference between the millionaire and the beggar is often not intelligence, not education, not opportunity, but the use of words. The millionaire speaks abundance until it becomes flesh. The beggar speaks lack until it becomes chains. Every time you speak, you either add a brick to the palace of your wealth or tear it down. Every time you open your mouth, you either command the universe to deliver prosperity or to withhold it. Speech is the builder of fortune. Wealth requires that you build carefully, brick upon brick with no contradictions. A palace cannot stand if one worker builds while another tears down. Likewise, abundance cannot stand if one declaration affirms while another denies. Train your lips as you would train a soldier. Train them to obey the law of wealth. Train them to reject fear, to resist contradiction, and to speak only the truth of abundance. Let your words become a shield against lack and a sword to cut through fear. Let them be consistent, bold, and unshackable. Wealth requires discipline of words. And once your words are disciplined, your life cannot help but follow. For the body obeys the mind obeys the spirit, and the spirit speaks through the tongue. Align the tongue, and the entire life aligns. Abundance becomes inevitable, prosperity becomes natural, and wealth flows like a river that cannot be stopped. So guard your words as treasure. Refuse to let fear, doubt, or contradiction pass your lips. Speak wealth until it clothes you, feeds you, and surrounds you. Speak prosperity until it becomes your reality. Speak as if every vault is already open to you. For indeed it is. Wealth requires discipline of words, no contradictions, no fear talk. And when that discipline is mastered, the universe has no choice but to deliver the riches that already belong to you. If you want to hold wealth in your hand, you must first hold it in your heart. This is the eternal truth, the key that unlocks the invisible vault of abundance. Wealth does not begin in banks, in businesses, or in the lottery. It begins in consciousness. It begins in the secret place within you, in the unseen realm where thought and belief shape the very fabric of your life. You are not a beggar before the universe, you are a creator. And creation always begins in the invisible before it shows itself in the visible. The world often teaches that money is obtained only through struggle, effort, and competition. People are told to chase opportunities, to run faster, to work harder than everyone else. And yet, countless stories reveal another truth: individuals who stepped into sudden wealth, unexpected opportunities, or seemingly miraculous provision did so not by chasing but by aligning. They first carried wealth inside them, an image, a conviction, a certainty that it belonged to them, and then it appeared in their outer life. The heart is the storehouse of your treasures. Whatever is deeply held within your heart eventually fills your hands. If your heart is filled with fear, lack, and limitation, then your hands will grasp at shadows, always coming up empty. But if your heart overflows with confidence, faith, and a vision of plenty, then your hands will overflow with riches in perfect time. This is not imagination in the ordinary sense, this is imagination infused with faith, which becomes the substance of things hoped for. To hold wealth in your heart means to see yourself already possessing it. You must walk in the feeling of it, live as though it is already supplied, and think from the end, not toward the end. Do not say, "Someday I will have it." Say instead, "It is already mine, and I now accept it." That acceptance creates an inner vibration, a magnetic pull, which calls forth the outer manifestation. Many people sabotage their own supply by contradicting themselves. In the morning they affirm abundance, but by evening they complain about lack. They declare, "I am wealthy," then speak words of poverty in daily conversations. Each negative word is like pulling up the seed they planted. Each fearful thought builds a wall against the flow. But the one who truly holds wealth in the heart never lets go of the vision. They guard their words and thoughts as carefully as a gardener protects the soil. They plant seeds of prosperity and water them daily with gratitude, never digging them up in doubt. If you desire wealth, you must train your inner speech. Speak only words that align with abundance. Let no complaint cross your lips. Let no doubt escape your tongue. Speak wealth as though it is already here, and your heart will begin to believe it fully. Once the heart believes, the outer world must obey. The world cannot resist the decree of a heart filled with conviction. Consider the one who plays the lottery. Millions play, but only a few win. Why? It is not chance, it is not fate, it is alignment. The winners often carry an inner knowing, an unshakable conviction that they are destined to receive. They are not pleading with the universe, they are declaring their divine right. They already hold the millions in their heart, and the ticket simply becomes the channel for that inner picture to manifest. Yet the lottery is only one channel. Wealth can arrive in countless ways: an inspired idea, a new opportunity, a gift, or a sudden opening of doors no one imagined. But the channel is never the source. The source is the divine supply, unlimited and ever-present, flowing according to the images held in the heart. To cling to one channel is to restrict the universe. To remain open is to give it infinite ways to deliver. The heart that holds wealth is never anxious. It does not worry about when or how, for it knows that the unseen supply is already flowing. Anxiety blocks the channel, but trust keeps it open. Faith is the currency of the unseen, and gratitude is the proof of possession. When you give thanks in advance, you declare that what you asked for is already yours. Gratitude seals the manifestation, locking it into place. Imagine now that your wealth is already in your hands. Picture yourself holding the very sum you desire. See yourself living free from worry, free from fear, free from limitation. Feel the joy of giving, the power of creating, the beauty of freedom. Let your heart be filled with this feeling until it becomes more real than your present circumstances. When the inner reality is stronger than the outer must change to match the inner. If you want to hold wealth in your hand, fill your heart with abundance until it overflows. Do not think small. Do not limit yourself to just enough. The universe is abundant beyond measure, and to ask little is to dishonor the greatness of your own spirit. Ask largely with confidence, knowing that what you claim in faith is already provided. You are not stealing from anyone, for the divine storehouse is limitless. One person's wealth does not diminish another's. In fact, when you prosper, you inspire others to prosper too. Do not confuse wealth with greed. Greed grasps from fear of lack, but true wealth flows from recognition of divine supply. When you hold wealth in your heart, you hold also the desire to bless, to give, to expand. Wealth is not selfish when it is held in love. Money is a servant, not a master, and in the hands of the heart-centered, it becomes a tool for freedom, creativity, and good. So discipline your heart, guard it from negative impressions. Refuse to dwell on lack, poverty, or limitation. Refuse to repeat the world's stories of fear. Instead, feed your heart with visions of abundance, with affirmations of supply, with gratitude for what is already yours. See every bill is already paid. See every need is already supplied. See your bank account overflowing, your wallet filled, your opportunities multiplying. Carry these images not as wishes, but as certainties. Life mirrors the heart. What is within you must eventually appear around you. If you want wealth, become wealth within. If you want abundance, carry abundance in your spirit. If you want to give freely, first see yourself as one who already has more than enough. This is not denial of reality, it is the shaping of reality at its root. The world of appearances is temporary, the world of the heart is eternal. Change the heart, and the world must follow. When you align your heart with wealth, you walk differently, speak differently, and expect differently. Opportunities notice you. People are drawn to you. Doors open where there were none before. What others call miracles become your daily experience. But none of it begins outside. It all begins within. Every millionaire who has ever touched great wealth held it first in the heart. They imagined it when others doubted, believed it when others mocked, and spoke it when others stayed silent. Their wealth was born inside long before it appeared in numbers and notes. The world simply caught up to what their heart already knew. You too can hold wealth in your heart. Begin now. Do not wait for conditions to change. Do not say, I will believe when I see it. Say instead, I will see it because I believe it. The heart that truly believes cannot be denied. The law is sure, and the promise is certain. Wealth belongs first to the heart, and then it comes to the hand. So take this formula and make it your own. Guard your inner garden, plant seeds of prosperity, water them with gratitude, and refuse to dig them up in doubt. Live as though your wealth is already here, and soon it will be. Let every heartbeat echo abundance. Let every thought speak supply. Let every word declare increase. And when you do, you will find your hands filled with the very riches your heart has long carried. For if you want to hold wealth in your hand, you must first hold it in your heart. And once the heart is full, the world has no choice but to place in your hand what is already overflowing within you. The universe responds to conviction, not to begging or hoping. It does not hear the cry of desperation, for desperation is filled with fear and doubt. It does not respond to the voice that pleads and trembles, for that voice is still uncertain of its right to receive. The universe, in all its infinite supply, responds to the firm, unwavering tone of conviction, the voice that knows, the mind that accepts, and the heart that expects. To stand in conviction is to stand in the authority of divine law. It is to say within yourself, it is mine, it is here, it is now, and to walk as though it cannot be otherwise. Consider the difference between begging and conviction. Begging says, please let this happen. I do not know if I am worthy. I do not know if I will receive. Conviction says, it is already mine by right. It comes to me by law. I am in harmony with the good that belongs to me. Begging comes from fear of lack. Conviction comes from knowledge of abundance. And knowledge, not fear, is what moves the unseen hand to open doors and release blessings. When you study the lives of those who attract sudden wealth, those who win, those who prosper, those who step into riches seemingly by miracle, you will find that they held conviction long before the prize appeared. They saw themselves wealthy before the bank account confirmed it. They spoke words of plenty before the evidence was visible. They expected increase without hesitation, and life simply echoed their expectation. This is not magic in the sense of illusion. It is the highest law in operation, a law as precise as gravity. What you know with conviction must eventually show in your outer world. Hope is a weak thread. It sways with the winds of doubt. One day it whispers, yes, maybe it will happen. And the next day it collapses into, no, I do not think it is possible. Begging is even weaker, for it places you in the posture of separation, as though your good is far away and must be persuaded to draw near. But conviction is unshakable. Conviction stands as though the blessing has already landed, as though the harvest is already gathered. Conviction smiles in the silence and declares wealth even in the presence of emptiness. And because conviction is faith in motion, the universe responds to it as a command, not a request. Let us imagine a farmer planting a seed. If he plants the seed and then spends every day digging it up, checking to see if it has sprouted, watering it in fear, and worrying whether it will grow, he delays the harvest. His doubt disturbs the process. But if he plants the seed with assurance, if he tends the soil faithfully, If he trusts that nature cannot betray her own law, then in time the sprout appears, and the harvest follows. This is the difference between conviction and hoping. Conviction plants and trusts. Hoping plants and worries. Begging plants and doubts. And the soil of the universe only brings forth the seed that is planted in trust. Conviction is not arrogance, nor is it pride. It is humility before divine law. It is recognizing that the universe is structured for your good, that abundance is your birthright, that supply is as natural as breathing. Just as you do not beg for the air you breathe, you need not beg for the wealth you desire. You claim it by aligning with the truth that it already exists in the unseen, and you draw it forth by conviction. Wealth is not created, it is already present in the field of supply. Conviction is the magnet that pulls it from the invisible into the visible. This is why so many prayers go unanswered. They are not prayers of conviction but prayers of fear. They are filled with words of desperation, coated with doubt, wrapped in uncertainty. Such prayers are like scattered signals, unclear and confused, and the universe, which is exact, cannot respond to confusion. But when a prayer is spoken in conviction, it rings like a clear bell across the unseen realms. It carries authority. It declares, it affirms, it commands, and the universe, in perfect obedience, delivers the answer. Think of the millionaire who wins the lottery. To the outside world, it looks like chance, a random stroke of luck. But in truth, the winning ticket was only the channel. Long before the numbers aligned, that individual had already aligned inwardly. They carried the vibration of wealth, the expectation of increase, the conviction that abundance was theirs. The universe had 1,000,000 possible channels to deliver their good, and the lottery was simply the chosen one. Without conviction, even the ticket in hand would mean nothing, for a fearful heart would quickly lose the gain. But conviction makes wealth stay, multiply, and expand. Conviction must be practiced. It is not a single thought, it is a way of life. It is choosing each day to align your words, your thoughts, and your emotions with the reality you seek. It is refusing to speak lack even in jest. It is turning away from fierce speech, gossip of poverty, and stories of failure. It is setting your mind like a compass to true north and holding it there despite the winds of circumstance. Conviction is not shaken by appearances. It sees through them. It knows that the invisible creates the visible, and so it remains firm until the outer matches the inner. There will be times when fear whispers to you, when doubt tries to creep in. Conviction does not mean you never feel the tremor of uncertainty. It means you refuse to let that tremor take root. You replace it instantly with words of truth. I am supplied, I am abundant, I am divinely prospered. You repeat this until your mind believes it, until your heart vibrates with it, until your entire being radiates with the certainty that it is so. That is conviction. And when conviction fills you, the universe must respond. Do not confuse waiting with hoping. Hoping waits with anxiety, wondering if the good will arrive. Conviction waits with calm assurance, knowing it must arrive. Hoping watches the clock, grows impatient and doubts. Conviction rests in peace, knowing that divine timing cannot be late. Hoping doubts at every delay. Conviction knows delay is not denial. Hoping falters when nothing is visible. Conviction rejoices in the unseen, knowing it is already here. To live in conviction is to live in gratitude before the gift appears. It is to thank the universe as though the blessing has already been deposited in your account, already placed in your hand, already manifested in your world. Gratitude is the language of conviction. It says, I am so certain of this gift that I thank you now. And the universe, hearing such gratitude, cannot help but complete the delivery. You must also guard your words, for words reveal conviction or expose doubt. If you say, I am rich, but follow with, I cannot afford this, you have cancelled your own conviction. If you say, money flows to me easily, but then complain of lack, you have contradicted yourself. The universe responds to conviction, but it also reflects confusion. Speak only words that align with your vision. Refuse to let careless speech undo your faith. Every word is a seed, and conviction makes those seeds sprout swiftly. It is not the length of time you pray or the effort of your pleading that moves the universe. It is the strength of your conviction. One sentence spoken in conviction carries more weight than 1,000 cries spoken in doubt. One affirmation rooted in knowing can open the floodgates of supply, while endless repetition rooted in fear remains barren. Quality, not quantity, is what matters. Conviction is quality. Understand also that conviction is not limited to money. It governs health, relationships, opportunities, and every area of life. Whatever you hold in conviction must come to pass. Whatever you continually affirm in certainty must appear. Wealth is one expression, but the law is universal. The same conviction that brings riches also brings healing, joy, love, and peace. The universe is impartial. It only reflects the conviction you carry. Those who live in conviction become unshakable. Circumstances may waver, storms may rise, appearances may contradict, but they remain steady. They walk as though the promise is already fulfilled. And because they walk in that certainty, it must become so. Conviction is not blind, It is seeing with the inner eye, and the inner eye always precedes the outer. So I say again, the universe responds to conviction, not to begging or hoping. If you desire wealth, stand in the place of wealth now. If you desire success, walk as though success is already yours. If you desire abundance, speak the language of abundance, live the posture of abundance, give thanks for abundance. Do not beg, do not plead, do not tremble. Declare, affirm, and know. This is the formula of manifestation. The world is full of dreamers who hope. Few are the ones who know. But those few shape the course of life, for conviction is irresistible. The universe bends to it, opportunities align with it, people are drawn to it, doors open for it, and wealth rushes to meet it. Conviction is the master key. With it, the lottery is won, the fortune is built, the miracle is made visible. Without it, even effort and struggle fall short. Therefore, train yourself daily in conviction. Guard your thoughts, speak only truth, expect with firmness, give thanks before seeing, and never ever doubt that what is yours by divine right cannot be withheld from you. The universe is exact. It listens not to fear but to faith, not to begging but to knowing. And when it hears conviction, it answers without delay. Walk, then, in conviction. Stand tall in certainty. Speak with authority. Live as though your desire is already here, and it will be. For the universe cannot resist conviction, and abundance cannot deny the one who knows it is already theirs. There is a hidden key to wealth, and it is not buried in the earth, nor locked away in secret vaults of banks, nor even in the numbers of a lottery ticket. The true key lies within the spoken word. When you speak, you shape reality. When you declare, you set into motion invisible forces that respond to the vibration of your voice and the conviction of your heart. This is why I tell you, speak as though abundance is already yours. You may look around and see lack. You may glance at your wallet and see emptiness. You may hear voices of the world telling you that prosperity is for the few, for the lucky, or for those who are born with golden privileges. But I tell you, those are illusions. The truth is that abundance surrounds you even now, waiting for your recognition. Supply is endless, wealth is infinite, and money is always seeking a channel through which to flow. That channel is you, and the gate to open it is your word. The spoken word is the command of spirit. Every word uttered in faith is a seed planted in the fertile soil of the unseen. If you speak of lack, you call lack. If you speak of struggle, you magnetize struggle. But when you speak of abundance, when you declare with unwavering certainty that riches are already yours, the universe bends to fulfill that declaration. For the word is law, and the law never fails. Think for a moment of the power of belief. A child believes without doubt that what is promised will be delivered. If told they will receive a gift, they wait with joy, anticipation, and excitement. They do not question how or when. It is already theirs in spirit, and soon enough it becomes theirs in form. This is the posture you must take toward abundance. Speak of it, rejoice in it. Thank the universe for it, as though it were already here. Because in truth it is. Every millionaire who wins great sums of money is not merely playing with numbers, they are aligning with an inner vision. They hold the thought of wealth so strongly that their words naturally echo it. They say things like, money flows to me easily, or, I am always provided for. They don't cancel their prayers with fear, nor their affirmations with doubt. They are consistent. Their inner language and outer speech are united in prosperity, and that alignment opens the floodgates of wealth. Many people make the mistake of speaking two languages, the language of faith and the language of fear. In the morning, they may affirm, I am rich, I am abundant, I am prospered. But later, they cancel it with words like, I can't afford this, or, I never have enough. Each time they do, they uproot the seed they planted. Imagine planting a flower, and then each day digging it up to see if it has sprouted. It never gets the chance to bloom. So it is with your words. Speak consistently. Speak as though abundance is already yours, and then leave the seed undisturbed to grow in its perfect time. Do you understand what it means to speak as though? It means adopting the consciousness of completion. It means you no longer plead or wish or hope. You do not say, I will be rich one day, for that is postponement. Instead you say, I am rich now, my wealth is flowing now, my abundance surrounds me now. The present tense is the language of manifestation. The universe does not respond to delay, it responds to now. This is why gratitude is so powerful. Gratitude is not something you practice only when the blessing arrives. Gratitude is the recognition that the blessing already exists, unseen but certain. When you say, thank you for the money that is flowing into my life. Even before you see a penny, you set the vibration of having. And what you vibrate as having must soon appear as having. The invisible precedes the visible. Wealth is a state of consciousness before it is a state of bank accounts. You must first become rich in thought, rich in speech, rich in expectation. You must live from the place of already having. Millionaires who win lotteries or gain fortunes are not surprised when wealth arrives. They expect it. They have spoken it, they have felt it, they have declared it into being. And when it manifests, they simply smile and say, Of course. Now some may ask, isn't it foolish to speak of riches when I am in debt? Isn't it dishonest to say I am abundant when I have nothing? No, it is not foolish, it is faith. It is not dishonest, it is truth on a higher plane. Debt and lack are temporary shadows, but abundance is eternal substance. You do not deny reality, you call forth a higher reality. You do not pretend, you proclaim. When a farmer plants seed, the ground still looks barren. But he does not say, there is nothing here. He knows within the soil, life is already stirring. He speaks of harvest even when he sees only dirt. And because he believes and waits with expectation, the harvest comes. So too must you speak of your wealth. Say it aloud, I am prosperous. I am abundant. I am rich in every way. Do not whisper it with doubt. Declare it with power. Speak it in your home. Speak it when you rise. Speak it when fear tempts you. The more you speak abundance, the more natural it becomes. Soon it will not feel like pretending, but like truth. And truth, once spoken, manifests. Guard your tongue. Words are not empty sounds, they are creative forces. Every complaint, every expression of worry, every casual, I'm broke is a command to the universe. Cancel those contracts of lack with words of wealth. Say instead, money is always circulating in my life. I always have more than enough. The riches of the universe are mine to enjoy. Replace every negative utterance with a positive decree, and watch your world transform. Remember, wealth does not come from labor alone, it comes from alignment. Two people may work the same hours, but one speaks constantly of lack and remains in struggle, while the other speaks constantly of abundance and finds doors of opportunity opening wide. This is not coincidence. It is the law of the spoken word. The one who speaks abundance prepares a path for abundance to enter. Your speech must not only be consistent, it must be expectant. Say, my wealth is arriving now. And then live as though it were true. Expect it when you walk into a store. Expect it when you check the mail. Expect it when you answer a call. You do not know which channel the universe will use, but you know the supply will come. This expectation keeps the energy open, keeps your vibration high, and keeps your faith strong. And when it comes, whether through a lottery win, a business breakthrough, or an unexpected gift, do not act surprised. Receive it with grace, knowing that your words brought it forth. Say, this is just one of the many ways my abundance flows. In doing so, you keep the channels of wealth open for more. Speaking as though abundance is already yours is not only about money. It is about every area of life. Speak health into your body. Speak harmony into your relationships. Speak peace into your mind. For the law is the same, what you declare you attract. Your word is your wand, shaping reality in accordance with your belief. But let us focus again on wealth. If you truly desire to win the lottery of life, to hold great riches, then discipline your tongue. Stop rehearsing your fears. Stop speaking of bills, debts, and struggles. Instead, affirm daily, I am supplied. I am blessed. I am wealthy beyond measure. Do not say it once or twice, but continually, until it becomes the language of your soul. Do not be concerned with appearances. The visible world is slow to catch up with the invisible. But it must catch up. Your words are laws set into motion. You may not see the effect today, but just as a planted seed takes time to sprout, your abundance is growing beneath the surface. Hold to your declaration. Refuse to waver. Continue speaking as though it were already yours, and soon it will be. Even now, as you hear these words, wealth is moving toward you. Opportunities are aligning. People are being guided to bless you. Channels are being prepared for your good. All of it responds to your spoken word. Your only task is to remain steadfast in declaration and expectation. Let no one discourage you. Many will mock the idea of speaking abundance into being, for they do not understand the law. They will call it foolishness while they continue to struggle in lack. But those who understand the power of the word know that speaking abundance is the first and greatest step to living abundance. So I say again, speak as though abundance is already yours. Do not wait for evidence, create the evidence with your declaration. Do not beg for riches, call them forth with authority. Do not delay your good by speaking of tomorrow, anchor it in today. Your wealth is not in the distance, it is here now, waiting for your word to open the door. And when you open your mouth, speak boldly, I am rich, I am prosperous, I am abundant. My wealth flows to me in endless ways. I give thanks for my overflowing supply. Speak it when you rise, speak it when you sleep, speak it until your very breath carries the fragrance of abundance. For truly, the secret is simple. Millionaires, winners, creators of fortune, what sets them apart is not luck, but language. They speak wealth into being, and wealth answers. And so will it answer you. Your abundance is waiting. Speak it forth. Do not limit the channel. Wealth can arrive in infinite ways. This single truth has the power to release you from years of struggle, years of striving, and years of narrow expectation. The universe is not limited, but the human mind often is. People bind themselves with fixed ideas about how abundance must show up. They think it can only arrive through a paycheck, through a business, through an inheritance, or through winning a lottery ticket. Yet when you insist on one way, You close the door to the million other ways wealth could have poured in. The supply of the universe is infinite. There are countless streams flowing from the one great source. To demand that your wealth must come through one channel is like standing at the ocean with a cup, insisting that the tide fill only that vessel while ignoring the endless waves crashing at your feet. Wealth is not confined to a single door, it surrounds you like air, ready to flow in wherever you allow it. The only thing that blocks it is your insistence on dictating the method of its arrival. When you pray, when you affirm, when you declare your abundance, you must also release it into the hands of the divine and allow it to return in its own perfect way. Imagine a farmer who plants seeds in fertile soil. Would he command the sun, the rain, and the earth to work in one strict pattern? Would he say, "I demand this sprout to emerge only on Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock sharp"? No, he trusts the process. He releases the seed, tends the soil, and knows the harvest will come. The same is true for your wealth. Plant your thought, nurture it with faith, and let go of the rigid picture of how it should appear. When you limit the channel, you often block your good without even realizing it. How many times has someone offered you a gift, an opportunity, or a blessing, but you refused it because it didn't match the picture in your mind? How many times have you overlooked a chance because it seemed too simple, too small, or too unexpected? The universe uses channels you cannot imagine. It weaves together circumstances, people, and events beyond your reasoning. What you must do is remain open, receptive, and expectant, not of one thing, but of good itself. Think of water flowing down a mountain. It does not choose one path, it finds every path. It carves new rivers, it seeps through rocks, it cascades into valleys. Wealth is like water, it will find you if you remove the dams of doubt, fear, and rigid expectation. But if you insist that it must only come from one stream, you dry up the thousands of others that were ready to flow into your life. Do not confine the infinite, open wide, and you will see that prosperity has no limits. There is a divine right supply for every soul. That supply is not restricted by the economy, by your job, by your family, or by your history. It is not dependent on one person, one company, or one opportunity. Many people make the mistake of tying their abundance to a single source, and when that source closes, they fall into despair. They forget that the source of all is infinite. Jobs may end, businesses may shift, circumstances may change, but the universal supply never ceases. One door may close, but 10 more will open, if you allow them to. The practice, then, is to let go of attachment to the how. Declare what you desire, but release the channel. If you desire wealth, say, "Divine substance now flows to me in perfect ways." If you desire opportunities, affirm, "Every door that belongs to me now opens wide." When you hold to the essence of what you seek and release the form, you allow the infinite to choose the best, fastest, and most harmonious channel for you. Often, it will come in a way you never expected. Some have spoken of winning the lottery as the only way to sudden wealth. But why must you limit yourself to one game of chance? The universe has thousands of lotteries, unexpected inheritances, surprise business opportunities, gifts, partnerships, promotions, ideas, investments, and even strangers who are moved to bless you. What you call a miracle is simply the universe choosing the quickest channel available. If you demand it only through one form, you may be waiting forever. But if you open to infinite forms, your supply rushes toward you in ways you could not have dreamed. Many people pray with desperation, begging for money to come through a specific path. Yet their prayers go unanswered, not because they were denied, but because they refused every other door the universe tried to open. They looked only at the front door, while the blessing was knocking at the side gate. To manifest wealth, you must pray with faith and release with trust. Say to yourself, "I do not limit the channel. My wealth comes to me through perfect ways, seen and unseen. The universe knows the best method, and I receive it now." This attitude of openness creates miracles. Imagine someone who desperately needs money and insists it must come through winning a single lottery ticket. They spend and spend, waiting for that one door to open. But if they released the demand, they might see the universe bring wealth through a forgotten investment, a friend's generosity, a promotion, or even an inspired idea that grows into fortune. Limiting the channel often delays the blessing, opening the channel multiplies it. Wealth is not about clinging, it is about flowing. When you cling to one channel, you operate from fear, the fear that the universe cannot provide in any other way. But when you trust in the infinite, you release fear and step into certainty. You know that your good cannot be withheld. You know that the same intelligence that guides the planets and paints the stars is more than capable of guiding wealth into your hands. This openness also teaches humility and gratitude. When wealth comes in unexpected ways, you learn to see the divine hand everywhere. You stop saying, "I earned this all myself," and you begin to say, "I was guided, I was blessed, I was provided for." This creates a cycle of gratitude, and gratitude multiplies blessings. The more thankful you are, the more doors the universe opens, because thankfulness proves that you are ready to receive. Do not limit the channel. Wealth can arrive through work, through gifts, through investments, through inspiration, through strangers, through family, through sudden opportunities, through ideas that come in dreams. It can come through refunds, discounts, inheritances, partnerships, inventions, or even the return of money you once thought was lost. It can come through channels you know and through channels you have never heard of. The only law is this: what is yours will reach you if you do not block it with doubt, fear, or narrow expectation. Even when the outer world looks empty, the inner supply is always full. Do not mistake appearances for reality. Appearances may say, there is no way out, but the truth is the way already exists. You simply cannot see it yet because you are focused on one path. The universe has 1,000 solutions to every problem, 1,000 doors for every desire. When you stop insisting, the door that belongs to you swings open naturally. You may ask, how do I practice this in daily life? Begin by affirming daily, I open to receive my good in unlimited ways. I do not limit the channel. All that is mine now flows to me through perfect, expected and unexpected channels. Then, when opportunities arrive, say yes. When blessings come, receive them with gratitude, no matter how small they seem. Small doors often lead to great halls. You must also watch your words. Words are commands to the subconscious and to the universe. If you say, that's impossible, or that could never happen, you are closing doors with your own tongue. Speak instead with openness. Anything is possible. I expect miracles. I am open to receive in ways beyond my imagination. Your words form your world, so keep them aligned with infinite possibility. Above all, trust. Trust that you are not forgotten, not overlooked, not abandoned. Trust that wealth is not scarce, but abundant. Trust that what is yours cannot miss you, and that the universe is infinitely resourceful. You may not know the channel, but you do not need to. The how is not your business. Your part is to desire, to affirm, to expect, and to receive. The universe's part is to arrange the channels. The formula is simple yet profound: desire with clarity, affirm with conviction, release with trust, and receive with gratitude. Hold no fear, hold no doubt, hold no attachment to the form. Stand firm in the knowing that wealth is already yours by divine right, and the perfect channels will reveal themselves at the perfect time. Do not limit the channel. Wealth can arrive in infinite ways. Hold this truth in your heart and practice it in your life, and you will see doors opening where there once were walls, rivers flowing where there once was desert, and abundance rushing in where once there seemed to be lack. The universe delights in surprising you, in blessing you beyond your imagination. Open wide the gates of your faith and let it flow. For the wealth you seek is already seeking you, and when you cease to limit the channel, you will discover that abundance is not a trickle, not a stream, but a boundless ocean waiting to pour into every part of your life. Remove resistance. Fear and doubt block the flow of supply. This is the hidden key, the missing piece that explains why so many long for abundance yet never see it, why so many dream of wealth yet live in lack. The truth is simple: abundance is not withheld, it is resisted. Supply does not stop flowing, it is blocked by the invisible walls of fear and doubt erected within the mind and heart. The universe is rich beyond measure. There is no shortage in creation, no scarcity in the divine plan. Look at the stars in the night sky, uncounted, unmeasured, without limit. Look at the grains of sand on the seashore, abundant, endless, ever present. Nature shows us again and again that supply is unlimited, flowing in rhythms and cycles without end. Yet while nature operates in plenty, human beings often live in lack. Why? Because fear dammed up the river, and doubt locked the gates of prosperity. Fear whispers, what if I lose? Doubt murmurs, what if it doesn't work? These voices do not come from truth, but from illusion. They are shadows that masquerade as reality, yet vanish when the light of faith shines upon them. The flow of supply is like a river, clear, powerful, and constant. Your thoughts and emotions are the channels through which it moves. If you allow fear to pile stones into the river, or doubt to build walls across it, the flow is slowed, diverted, or blocked. But when you remove those barriers, the current of wealth rushes freely and abundantly into your life. Think of electricity. It is always present, always ready to flow. But if the wires are tangled or broken, the current cannot pass. The fault is never with the electricity, it is with the conductor. In the same way, the universe is always flowing with wealth, with opportunities, with divine provision. Yet if fear and doubt corrode the wires of your faith, the current cannot reach you. Remove the resistance and immediately supply returns. Fear and doubt wear many disguises. Sometimes they appear as worry. What if I don't have enough to pay my bills? Sometimes they appear as envy. Why does wealth come to others and not to me? Sometimes they show up as hesitation. Maybe I'm not ready, maybe I'm not worthy. All of these are forms of resistance. They do not come from truth. They are illusions, smoke and mirrors that vanish the moment you choose to stand in faith. The first step in removing resistance is awareness. You must notice when fear speaks. You must catch the doubt as it rises. Too often, people speak words of wealth in one moment. then cancel them in the next by speaking words of fear. They say, I am rich, I am abundant, and then immediately declare, I can't afford this, I never have enough. That is like planting a seed in the soil, watering it with care, and then each day digging it up to see if it is growing. The seed cannot grow in such conditions. Faith requires consistency. You must plant your word and let it take root, not uproot it with fear and doubt. The second step is to replace fear with truth. Whenever a thought of lack arises, immediately affirm abundance. When doubt whispers, what if it doesn't happen? Respond, it is already happening in unseen ways. When fear says, you might fail, declare, divine supply never fails. Every negative thought must be met and overturned with a positive word. Over time, the mind becomes disciplined, the channel cleared, the river of supply flows freely once again. The third step is to live as though supply is already flowing. This does not mean careless spending or reckless living. It means carrying yourself with the confidence that abundance is yours by right. Gratitude is a powerful tool here. When you give thanks for what you already have, you signal to the universe that you are ready for more. Gratitude removes the vibration of fear and establishes the vibration of trust. A grateful heart cannot be anxious, for it knows supply is already present. Some think that wealth is for a chosen few, that prosperity belongs only to those born into privilege or chance. But the truth is that the law of supply makes no exceptions. It is as impartial as gravity. Anyone, anywhere, at any time can align with it. The difference between those who experience wealth and those who do not is not chance but resistance. The wealthy have removed the blocks, the poor cling unknowingly to them. But the moment anyone, regardless of past, chooses to release fear and doubt, the river flows anew. Imagine this: a millionaire buys a lottery ticket. The untrained mind thinks, how lucky! What a chance! But the spiritual mind knows otherwise. The millionaire has already aligned inwardly with abundance, so the ticket was only the chosen channel of expression. The ticket was not the cause, the consciousness was. Without resistance, supply found its opening. With resistance, the same ticket would have been worthless. The outer channel is nothing. The inner alignment is everything. Fear and doubt often pretend to protect us. They say, don't dream too big. You might be disappointed. They say, hold back. You might get hurt. But these are lies. They do not protect, they imprison. They shrink the soul and starve the spirit. True protection comes only from faith, from knowing that divine supply is unfailing. To live in fear is to live in chains. To live in faith is to live in freedom. Many struggle with money, not because money is hard to come by, but because they resist its flow. They believe wealth is scarce, that only a few can have it. But abundance is not pie to be divided. It is an ever-expanding ocean. One person's wealth does not diminish another's. In truth, it multiplies it. When you celebrate another's abundance instead of envying it, you open the door for your own. When you resent it, you close the door. Fear breeds envy, faith breeds celebration. Remove envy, and you remove another layer of resistance. Another form of resistance is unworthiness. Many secretly believe they do not deserve wealth, that they are somehow unfit to receive abundance. But worthiness is not earned, it is inherent. You are a child of the infinite, and as such, supply is your birthright. You do not beg for the sun to shine or the rain to fall, they are given freely. In the same way, you do not need to prove your worth to receive supply. You only need to remove the thought that says you are unworthy. That thought is the resistance. Let it go, and abundance comes rushing in. Let us now look at practical ways to remove resistance in daily life. Begin each morning by declaring words of abundance. Say, I am open to receive wealth in expected and unexpected ways. Fear and doubt have no power over me. Supply flows to me freely, abundantly, endlessly. Speak it with conviction and speak it consistently. Throughout the day, guard your words. If a thought of lack arises, immediately replace it. If you feel fear, pause and breathe deeply, reminding yourself that divine supply never fails. Visualization is another tool. See yourself living in abundance. Imagine the details, how it feels, how it looks, the joy of giving, the freedom of wealth. The more vividly you can see it, the more real it becomes. Fear cannot coexist with a clear, joyful vision. Doubt cannot survive in the presence of certainty. Visualization clears the channel by making wealth familiar to the mind, no longer something distant or uncertain, but something already alive within. Generosity is also a key to removing resistance. When you give freely, you prove to yourself that supply is endless. Fear says, hold back, you might not have enough. Faith says, give freely, more is already on the way. Every act of giving declares trust in abundance, and in that trust, resistance dissolves. The hand that is open to give is also open to receive. Faith must be stronger than appearances. The outer world may sometimes show lack, but appearances are temporary. Reality is supply, ever flowing, ever present. When you trust the unseen more than the seen, you remove resistance. When you believe in abundance, even when your pockets are empty, you open the door for that abundance to appear. Doubt looks at appearances, faith looks at truth. Doubt says, I don't see it, so it's not real. Faith says, I don't see it yet, but I know it is here. Every story of wealth, every story of sudden success follows this pattern. Someone removed resistance, and supply rushed in. The circumstances may differ, lotteries, inheritances, promotions, business opportunities, but the law is always the same. Remove fear and doubt, and wealth finds its way to you. So today, make the choice. Release the illusion of fear. Release the lie of doubt. Stand firm in the truth that abundance is yours now, not tomorrow, not someday, but now. Speak words of faith, live in gratitude. Give generously, and see yourself already supplied. The river is waiting, the current is strong. All you need to do is remove the stones of resistance and let it flow. For wealth is not withheld from you. It is not far from you. It is already flowing, pressing against the dam of fear, eager to burst forth. The moment you release fear, the moment you dissolve doubt, the dam breaks, and abundance rushes into your life in ways beyond your imagination. Remove resistance. Fear and doubt block the flow of supply. Remove them, and nothing can stop what is already yours. What is yours by divine right cannot be withheld from you. This is not just a comforting phrase or a poetic sentiment. It is a law, eternal and unshakable, written into the very foundation of the universe. When you begin to grasp the depth of this truth, a new confidence arises within you. A confidence that transforms the way you speak, the way you think, and the way you live. You no longer chase after things in desperation, because you know that what belongs to you must arrive, and no obstacle, no delay, no power in the world can keep it away. The reason so many live in fear and lack is because they have forgotten this truth. They believe that life is a lottery of chance, that blessings are scarce, that opportunities belong to only a few. But this is not the divine order. In truth, there is no competition for what is already yours. No one can take your place, no one can seize what is yours by right, no one can block the path to your supply. If you claim it in faith, if you align your thoughts and words with its reality, it must come. The universe is never late, and the law never fails. Think of the seed planted in the soil. No one stands over it begging it to grow, pleading with it to become what it was designed to be. The seed holds its destiny within itself. The moment it touches the soil, the unseen law begins to work. So too is it with the desires planted in your heart. The moment you hold the vision, the moment you affirm it with conviction, the law begins to move. Invisible forces align, channels open, circumstances shift, and what you have claimed begins its journey toward you. You cannot see all the steps. You do not know how the law arranges itself. But you can rest in this truth. What is yours by divine right is on its way. And nothing can stop it. The greatest mistake people make is in doubting the process. They dig up the seed to see if it is growing. They speak words of fear that cancel their declarations of faith. They say, I am wealthy, in one breath, and I am broke in the next. They claim abundance in the morning but complain of lack by night. And the law, ever obedient, reflects back to them their divided state. To receive fully, you must be single-minded. You must speak only what you desire, see only what you desire, and expect only what you desire. For when the inner world is united in vision, the outer world cannot help but match it. The supply that belongs to you is already created. The abundance you long for already exists in the unseen, waiting for your recognition. Just as a radio station transmits waves through the air whether you tune in or not, wealth and blessings are already vibrating around you. You do not create them, you only align yourself to receive them. When you set your dial to faith, gratitude, and expectation, you tune into the frequency where your wealth is already playing. And once you are tuned in, the outer world shifts, and what was invisible becomes visible, what was delayed becomes present, what was hoped for becomes held in your hand. Think of those who suddenly receive large sums of money, through opportunities, gifts, inheritances, or even winning the lottery. To the world, it looks like luck, but in truth, it is the working out of law. At some point, consciously or unconsciously, they aligned with the vibration of increase. They expected it, they prepared for it, they made themselves available to it. And when the channel opened, the supply flowed. You too can open that channel. You too can stand in alignment with the stream of abundance that already belongs to you. Fear will tell you otherwise. Fear will whisper, what if it never comes? What if I am left out? What if it belongs to someone else? But fear is the only liar in this story. Fear has no substance, no power of its own, except the power you give it through belief. The moment you dismiss fear and stand firm in faith, the moment you replace doubt with declaration, the law begins to move in your favor. Say to yourself again and again, what is mine by divine right cannot be withheld from me. No person can block it, no system can deny it, no delay can destroy it. It is mine, it is on its way, and I welcome it with gratitude. Consider the ocean. No one can drain it, no one can claim it all for themselves, no one can tell the tide not to rise. Abundance is like that ocean, endless, overflowing, unstoppable. If you stand with a thimble, you receive a thimble. If you stand with a bucket, you receive a bucket. And if you stand with open arms and limitless expectation, you receive without measure. The flow adjusts not to your worthiness but to your belief. For worthiness was settled long ago. You were born worthy, created in divine image, a vessel of infinite supply. What limits your receiving is not the law, not the universe, but your own expectation. Speak boldly. Speak as if you already hold the treasure. Do not wait until it shows up to feel rich. Feel rich now. Walk with the posture of wealth now. Think the thoughts of abundance now. For the law responds not to waiting but to being. When you act as if the supply is already here, you signal to the universe that you are ready to receive, and the delivery cannot be withheld. So many hesitate because they cannot see the how. They ask, from where will it come? Who will deliver it? What if the channel closes? But you must release the how. You are not the arranger of channels, you are the receiver of supply. When you dictate the method, you shrink the law to your own understanding. When you release it, you allow infinite ways for the blessing to reach you. The lottery, a business idea, a gift, an opportunity you never imagined, all are possible when you let go and trust. Say within yourself, I do not care how, I only know that what is mine must arrive, and it will arrive in the perfect way, at the perfect time. Patience is not waiting with worry, it is waiting with certainty. Just as the farmer plants his seed and rests, knowing the harvest is sure, so too must you rest. The harvest is certain, your supply is certain, your abundance is certain. Do not measure it by appearances, for appearances often deceive. What looks like lack may be preparation. What looks like delay may be divine timing. Trust the unseen more than the seen, for the unseen is eternal law, and the seen is only temporary shadow. Your words are powerful keys in this process. Speak only increase. Speak only abundance. Refuse to use language of lack. Refuse to agree with poverty in conversation. Refuse to confess fear with your tongue. Every word carries energy, and the energy of your words shapes your world. Say often, money flows to me freely. Wealth belongs to me by divine right. Opportunities chase me down. Doors open in my favor. I receive now what has always been mine. The more you affirm, the stronger your magnet becomes. The stronger your magnet, the faster your supply must arrive. There are no limits to what can be yours. Do not settle for scraps when you were born for overflow. Do not pray for crumbs when the banquet of the universe is before you. Lift your expectation higher. If you need a little, ask for much. If you need much, ask for more. The law has no exhaustion, no depletion, no boundaries. It is infinite supply waiting on infinite belief. Millionaires, billionaires, creators, visionaries, all they did was expand their container of expectation. They believed for more, so more came. You too can expand your container. Begin today, and when the supply comes, as surely it will, remember gratitude. Gratitude seals the blessing and multiplies it. Gratitude keeps the channel open. Do not hoard in fear, for fear closes the flow. Circulate with joy. Spend with thanksgiving. Give with generosity. As you do, you prove that you are a faithful steward of abundance, and the law rushes to fill you again and again. For the universe abhors a vacuum. Whatever you release in joy, more must rush in to replace it. What is yours by divine right cannot be withheld from you. Say it until it becomes the rhythm of your heartbeat. Write it until it is etched into your mind. Believe it until doubt dissolves. Live it until it becomes your reality. Wealth is not a matter of chance. Abundance is not reserved for a few. Supply is not far off in the distance. It is here, it is now. It is yours. And when you stand in the certainty of this truth, when you refuse to waver, when you walk as though it is already done, you will watch the outer world bow to your inner knowing. The day will come when you look back and realize that everything you desired was already yours, waiting only for your faith to open the door. And when that day comes, you will no longer doubt, no longer fear, no longer waver. You will stand as a living testimony of the eternal law. What is yours by divine right cannot be withheld from you. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. It is written in the fabric of creation. It is sealed in the promise of the universe. And it is yours now, waiting for you to claim it, believe it, and receive it.